it's just can be, I think, a fine line between automation and kind of abdication. Because if you automate it's fully.
I haven't hit that yet. Abdication. I know that's from like when you abdicate the throne.
It is.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is in finance, but I know I'm a king, so you know.
You give up responsibility for is how I would define that.
You know what the buzzer is because you didn't crap yourself when you hit it.
No, I know what the buzzer is. I'm a listener, man. I know what the buzzer is for. So give up responsibility for. So automation is great if it helps you make good decisions, but what you don't want to do is then forget about that. There still needs to be some intentionality. So I talk a lot about kind of putting in place some kind of review program where you look at everything same day every year. There's a bit of a checklist that I produce. It's like, just think about these things. And again, use your calendar, put it in the calendar and review your automation. So I don't think it's certainly not a bad thing. It's just, we need to keep it in its place like everything.
Go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, why do you need to review the automation? Why can't you just leave it? And like, if it's something like investing every month, why can't you just leave it?
Review the amount. Okay. Maybe if your understanding is developed or whatever, maybe review how the regular investment is being invested, maybe the split of funds you're buying or whatever. So those things, not the automation itself, just
the details.
Is that the checklist? Have you got like what's on that checklist? You say, do you know roughly what's on that checklist?
You want me to recall that from memory? Well,
no pressure.
So it's things like savings rate. So can I increase my savings? I tend to suggest there is real power in small increments made regularly. Start at a lower amount and push it and push it and push it until it feels slightly uncomfortable. Review, obviously, if you've had a pay rise, so your savings rate as a proportion of what your income is, maybe that's worth reviewing. Can you push that any further? Even, am I living properly? Actually, am I saving too much? Am I actually unhappy? Because, you should definitely live in the present as well. Has my need for insurance changed? So, have I borrowed more on my mortgage? Do I need to tweak my life insurance? Has my job or my salary changed significantly? Do I need to look at my income protection? Makeup of your portfolio. So has it fallen out of whack? Do I need to rebalance? If you are, maybe an 80-20 investor, so 80% equities, 20% bonds or whatever, or 60-40 or whatever, has that fallen out of sync? Do I need to rebalance? So it's just it's almost like, financial sort of donkey work. It's the simple stuff, but it's worth looking at regularly.
Is having an advisor a form of automation?
It's a form of delegation, but potentially. Part of what we would do is remind people to do the obvious things every year. And often we'll set up those automations for them. So, bed and ISA, if they got money in a GIA, shift it into ISAs every year, likewise into pensions. Doing those things, reviewing the sort of investment makeup. So it is. I've built a career on telling people they don't need to see a financial advisor.
Yeah, this is
which is a deep irony.
Yeah.
Well, obviously I am one, and yet I'm busier than ever. So go figure, right? But I'm utterly convinced that people can do this themselves, but plenty of people don't have the time or the inclination. So that's why I have a job.
And is it a money thing, or is it like a certain type of person kind of thing? What's your experience in terms of who are the people that should be speaking to a financial advisor?
Look, 98% of people just need a pension and an ISA global equity fund. And it gets complicated when you approach retirement. But wealth building is the simpler phase, I think. So we add real value, I think, when you've got people with 9 different pension plans. And, DB schemes paying out, defined benefit pension schemes before you hit the buzzer.
I was about to.
Yeah, right. Defined benefit pension schemes paying out at different times and understanding the different threads of, when incomes are going to pay out, when expenditure is going to go out, different events, inflation, holding all that stuff together, particularly at the transition point into retirement, is basically where we add the most value. So I think an advisor can add value for anybody at retirement, unless your circumstances are very simple. But we tend to deal with people who are at that point, but also people who maybe have got sort of like complexity. So maybe there's trust funds involved, or maybe they've got money in multiple jurisdictions, or maybe they're, you know, very high earners, and so their obvious options are limited. They're fully tapered on their pension, so they can't put much away. So it's the sort of 2% that need to think a little bit outside the basics, really, that we tend to serve. But even that, most people can do if they want to.
Yeah. I think if people understood that better, that really financial advisors are for the complex parts of planning and the rest is simple, because the messaging to the world is a bit like, go see a financial advisor. But what you're saying is, no, the accumulation phase, really it should be, it's relatively simple if you just do these few steps.
Yeah. Do them consistently and do them well, and keep things under review. And there's so much great information to help you do that. So yes, it's mostly... It's not even really about level of wealth. It's about complexity of situation, really.
This is a clip from our chat with Pete Matthew, the godfather of this YouTube finance game. Also, Damien's dad.
Pappy.
El
Jefe.
Click here for the full episode.